where pop star Aaron Carter has died at the age of 34.
Yeah, the troubled performer grew up in the limelight, but he was in and out of rehab several times in his short life.
Well, it's a cold case. It's been lingering for 27 years.
The clock is ticking for Sean Diddy Combs, and the walls appear to be closing in fast. Just when you thought this scandal couldn't get any messier, it turns out Diddy's defense team is scrambling to meet a court-due date to explain how he's been communicating from behind bars. Yes, you heard that right. This story has gone from shocking to downright jaw-dropping. But wait, it gets worse. A former associate has testified before a federal grand jury claiming to possess explosive evidence from Diddy's infamous private gatherings. And if you think the details we're about to dive into are outrageous, buckle up because this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Thought Diddy would be throwing all his celebrity mates under the bus.
I mean, that could potentially be coming when it's time for court and when it's time for him to testify. But what we're seeing right now is how important public relations really are to Sean Combs. He's desperately trying to control the narrative behind bars, allowing his attorneys to do
First things first, let's talk about the latest bombshell that has everyone talking. Picture this. Diddy's own legal powerhouse, the man who's been by his side for months, has reportedly thrown in the towel. That's right, his top-tier lawyer has allegedly walked away from the case mid-trial. Can you imagine the level of chaos behind the scenes for a lawyer of his caliber to just quit? This isn't some rookie attorney. This isn't some rookie attorney. This is someone with decades of experience, and even he seems to be over it. Rumor has it the lawyer lost faith in both the case and Diddy himself. If your own defense team is jumping ship, what does that say about the strength of your case?
What his team is trying to do is get the public to assume that the government is leaking some of this negative information about him, like that Cassie video. But the reality is, he's got a lot of enemies, and I really don't believe it's them.
And while Diddy's legal team is crumbling, the hits just keep on coming. A leaked prison call recording has set the internet ablaze, and it's making Diddy look even worse. And it's making Diddy look even worse. In the recording, a voice alleged to be Diddy's is heard instructing one of his sons to get rid of all the pizza boxes. Now, let's pause for a second. What could that possibly mean? Is it code for something? Was he trying to hide evidence? The recording has left people speculating wildly, and honestly, it raises more questions than answers. One thing's for sure, whatever Diddy was trying to do, it's backfired spectacularly. Instead of silencing the chatter, this leak has only added fuel to the fire. And now more evidence is pouring in from every direction, painting an even darker picture of the man once seen as a music icon. Speaking of evidence, let's break down what prosecutors have revealed so far. During a search of Diddy's home, they reportedly found items that are almost too outrageous to believe. We're talking about firearms with scratched-off serial numbers, a massive stockpile of personal products, and, get this, recordings of his private events. These recordings allegedly feature multiple individuals in highly questionable situations, and prosecutors claim they're key to proving the case against him. Oh, and let's not forget the sheer volume of items seized, over 1,000 bottles of products typically used for, let's say, very specific activities. Just think about that number for a moment. Who even needs that many bottles of anything? It's details like these that make the allegations against Diddy impossible to ignore.
Today, just to tell the truth, so hopefully we can get down to the bottom of this. I'm 100%, the charges against me are 100% false, and hopefully due to time, we'll start.
But here's where things get even crazier. While Diddy's legal troubles are mounting, the prosecution seems more confident than ever. In fact, the accuser's lawyer has boldly claimed that Diddy's chances of avoiding a life sentence are slim to none. And honestly, given the avalanche of evidence that keeps piling up, it's hard to disagree. The lawyer's confidence stems from what they're calling an unprecedented amount of corroboration from witnesses, recordings, and seized items. They've even gone so far as to say that Diddy's wealth and influence won't be enough to save him this time. It's a bold statement, but with everything we've seen so far, it might not be far from the truth.
In her civil lawsuit, Cassie said that she was the victim of abuse, assault, and at the hands of Diddy.
Now, let's circle back to the leaked prison call for a moment because it's too juicy to gloss over. The recording allegedly captures Diddy advising his son to get rid of evidence, while the exact meaning of pizza boxes remains unclear. Many are speculating that it's code for something incriminating. Was he referring to physical evidence that could tie him to the allegations? Or was it a metaphor for something bigger? The fact that this call was leaked at all suggests that Diddy's every move is being closely monitored, and it's not doing him any favors. The leak has sparked a frenzy online with fans, critics, and even legal experts weighing in on what it could mean. Some are calling it the smoking gun that could seal his fate, while others think it's just another piece in a very messy puzzle. But here's the kicker. This isn't just about Diddy anymore. The leaked call and amounting evidence have opened the floodgates, and now more people are coming forward with their own stories. Witnesses who were once silent are stepping into the spotlight, sharing details that only add to the growing case against him. And let's not forget the digital evidence that's already in play. One former associate testified before a grand jury claiming to possess flash drives filled with recordings from Diddy's private gatherings. These recordings allegedly feature high-profile individuals and could expose an entire network of questionable activities. If this evidence is as damning as it sounds, it could be the final nail in the coffin for Diddy's defense.
We're not done. This investigation is ongoing, and I encourage anyone with information about this case to come.
And speaking of his defense, let's talk about the man who walked away. Mark Agnifilo, Diddy's now former lawyer, is no lightweight. With over 30 years of experience and a resume that includes defending some of the biggest names in corporate and criminal law, Agnifilo is the kind of lawyer you want in your corner when the stakes are this high. So why would someone of his caliber abandon ship? Sources close to the case suggest that Agnifilo saw the writing on the wall. Between the overwhelming evidence, the leaked recordings, and the damning testimony, it seems even he couldn't see a path forward. And honestly, can you blame him? When your client is facing accusations this serious and the evidence keeps stacking up, there's only so much even the best lawyer can do.
You said we are not done and that Combs did not do this alone. Do you foresee that there could be other charges related to this case?
I'm not taking anything off the table.
But here's where things get really interesting. Agnifilo's departure has left Diddy scrambling to find new representation, and insiders are saying it's not going well. With his reputation in tatters and the case against him growing stronger by the day, it's becoming increasingly difficult for Diddy to find a lawyer willing to take on his case. And without a strong legal team, his chances of mounting a successful defense are looking slimmer by the minute. It's a dire situation, and one seems to get worse with each passing day.
Hey, real quickly, all that commissary stuff, he's not getting any of that because people in the SHU have an abbreviated list. So he's out of luck. No stake for him. Yeah, he is on watch. This guy thought he would have went home. All of a sudden, he didn't get bond. Remember, the first night that he was there.
So where does all of this leave Diddy? At this point, it's hard to see how he comes back from this. The evidence is overwhelming. The witnesses are speaking out, and even his own legal team appears to be abandoning him. And let's not forget the public perception. Once hailed as a music pioneer and cultural icon, Diddy's reputation has taken a massive hit. Fans who once idolized him are now questioning everything they thought they knew, and the court of public opinion is turning against him in a big way. It's a dramatic fall from grace, and one that seems far from over. And we're not even done yet. This is just the beginning of what promises to be one of the most explosive legal battles in recent history. With new evidence surfacing almost daily and more witnesses coming forward, the case against Diddy is shaping up to be a spectacle unlike anything we've seen before. And if you think this is intense, just wait until we dive into the next chapter of this story. Trust us, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Stay tuned because things are about to get even crazier.
Now, to the latest on the arrest of Sean Diddy Combs. This one has so many people talking. The disgraced music mogul facing federal racketeering, conspiracy, and trafficking charges. Both the prosecution and defense teams are set to discuss the next phase of action following the indictment as investigators work to determine potential co-conspirators. But how exactly did we get here?
The revelations just don't stop, do they? If you thought things couldn't possibly get darker or more twisted in the Sean Diddy Combs saga, well, brace yourself, because this is where things take a truly sinister turn. We're not just talking about legal battles anymore. This is about connections to some of the most shocking incidents in music history, mysterious ends to high-profile lives, and whispers of betrayal that stretch back decades. The deeper you dig into Diddy's world, the more it feels like stepping into a labyrinth of secrets, power plays, and accusations that make even the most seasoned Hollywood scandals look tame. Let's dive right into the part of the story that has everyone's jaws on the floor. Kim Porter, Diddy's former partner, the mother of 3 of his children, and someone who seemed to know him better than anyone else. Her untimely passing in 2018 was officially attributed to health complications, but almost from day one, rumors have swirled that there's far more to the story. And now details from her alleged manuscript are coming to light. And let me tell you, it's enough to make your head spin.
Right. Well, Kim Porter, you know, that is Diddy's ex, who's also the mother of his 3 of his children.
Right.
Has detailed the alleged abuse that she suffered at his hands.
Oh, no.
And this is all in a memoir.
According to sources who claim to have had access to this manuscript, Kim didn't just know Diddy's secrets. She planned to expose them. Reports suggest she had been working on a tell-all book that could have blown the lid off not only Diddy's personal life, but also his alleged role in some of the most controversial moments in hip-hop history. And here's the kicker. She reportedly told close friends that if anything ever happened to her, they needed to make sure this book got out. Fast forward to today, and we're hearing whispers that a former associate of Kim's has possession of this explosive material. If true, this could be a game changer, not just for Diddy's legal battles, but for his entire legacy.
Person that really put their hands on women really is people who have men who have feminine traits. So, you know, it really takes a coward to put his hands on a woman. So, you know, a man is so strong enough, we can just walk away. You can do, it's so many different things that you can do other than get upset, put your hands on a woman. But that comes from a man who's not quite a grown man.
One of the most chilling claims tied to Kim's manuscript is her suggestion that Diddy might have had knowledge, or even a hand, in events that led to the losses of Shakur and the notorious B.I.G. Think about that for a moment. These are two of the most iconic figures in music history, and their untimely ends remain shrouded in mystery and conspiracy theories. Could Diddy, one of the most powerful players in the industry, have been involved in some way? It's a question that has haunted fans for decades, and now it's being asked louder than ever. Let's rewind to the mid-1990s, the height of the East Coast versus West Coast rivalry that defined an era of hip-hop. Diddy was at the top of his game, running Bad Boy Records and managing stars like Biggie Smalls, while Suge Knight held court on the West Coast with Death Row Records. The tension between these two camps wasn't just professional, it was deeply personal. And when Shocker was gunned down in Las Vegas in 1996, followed by Biggie's tragic end in Los Angeles just 6 months later, speculation ran wild. Who was responsible? Who stood to gain the most?
The whole East-West thing started. We were caught off guard, and that broke my man's heart.
For years, retired law enforcement officials, insiders, and even former gang members have pointed fingers in all directions. But one name that keeps coming up in these conversations is Diddy's. Retired Los Angeles detective Greg Kading, who led a task force investigating these cases, has gone on record alleging that Diddy offered a large sum of money to have Shakur and Suge Knight taken out. According to Kading, the plan didn't go entirely as intended, but the fallout was devastating nonetheless. And here's where things get even more tangled. Kading's claims align with statements made by Dwayne Kefe D. Davis, a former gang member who was recently arrested in connection with Shakur's case. Kefe D. has repeatedly implicated Diddy, even claiming that he was promised a significant payout for his role in the events.
You know, that's the whole truth on the Tupac thing, you know what I'm saying?
And let's not forget Biggie Smalls. While Biggie was Diddy's golden boy, the one who helped put Bad Boy Records on the map, there have always been whispers about tension between the two. Some have suggested that Biggie was planning to leave Bad Boy and start his own label, a move that could have significantly impacted Diddy's empire. Could this have played a role in what happened next? It's a question that has been asked time and time again, and with the resurfacing of Kim Porter's alleged manuscript, it's being asked with renewed urgency.
Named Diddy 77 times in court documents related to Tupac's.
But the connections don't stop there. Over the years, a disturbing pattern has emerged. Many individuals who were close to Diddy or who had conflicts with him have faced mysterious and tragic ends. Take, for instance, Albie, sure, a close friend of Kim Porter's and someone who has been vocal about his suspicions surrounding her passing. Albie sure himself faced a life-threatening health scare not long ago, and while he has since recovered, he's hinted that there's more to the story than meets the eye. In fact, he has called for an independent investigation into Kim's passing, suggesting that powerful forces may have been at play. What makes Albie Shure's claims even more unsettling is the timeline of events leading up to his health scare. Just weeks before he fell ill, he reportedly began revisiting details about Kim Porter's final days, uncovering what he described as inconsistencies in the official narrative. He claimed that Kim had confided in him about feeling watched and even followed in the months before her passing. Albie Shure also alleged that Kim had shared plans to move forward with a legal battle over property and assets linked to Diddy, which could have threatened his empire. Could these plans have made her a target? Though it's impossible to confirm, Albie Shure has made it clear that he believes Kim's end was no accident.
The only man currently facing charges in the case, Dwayne Kefe D. Davis, claims that Sean Combs, also known as Diddy, paid for a hit on Tupac.
Adding more fuel to the fire is the testimony of Courtney Burgess, a former associate of Kim Porter, who has come forward with flash drives he claims contain evidence related to Kim's suspicions about Diddy. According to Burgess, these recordings include conversations in which Kim allegedly expressed fears about her safety and detailed specific incidents where she felt her privacy had been invaded. This aligns with earlier claims that Diddy had reportedly wired Kim's home and hired individuals to monitor her movements. Burgess's testimony has already been shared with legal authorities, and though its contents have not been made public, insiders suggest it could be among the most damning evidence to date. Even more chilling is the revelation that Kim had reportedly been working on a contingency plan to protect her children in the event that something happened to her. Friends close to Kim have stated that she had quietly arranged for legal guardianship papers to be drawn up, naming individuals outside of Diddy's circle as potential caretakers. This decision raised eyebrows, as it suggested that Kim may have doubted Diddy's ability or willingness to prioritize the well-being of their children without her around. These preparations, combined with her alleged plans to go public with damaging information, paint a picture of someone who may have been bracing for the worst. Then there's Andre Harrell, the legendary music executive who gave Diddy his first big break. Harrell passed away under sudden circumstances, leaving many in the industry stunned. While his passing was officially attributed to health issues, some have speculated that his closeness to Diddy and his potential knowledge of the mogul's dealings could have made him a target. And let's not forget Heavy D, another influential figure in the industry who shared a close connection with both Diddy and Kim Porter. His passing, too, has been the subject of whispers and questions.
Right now, Davis is fighting for bail ahead of his murder trial, which he has pleaded not.
And just when you think this story couldn't possibly get any more tangled, Jamie Foxx enters the picture. Yes, the beloved actor and musician who has had his own mysterious health struggles recently. Jamie and Diddy go way back, with Jamie even hosting some of Diddy's infamous parties at his home. But according to some sources, Jamie may have seen or heard things that put him in a vulnerable position. While Jamie has kept a low profile since his health scare, rumors have swirled that his condition might not have been as straightforward as it seemed. Could there be a connection between Jamie's situation and the web of allegations surrounding Diddy? It's a question that's impossible to ignore. And let's not forget Aaron Carter, the former teen pop star who tragically passed away under circumstances that remain murky at best. Aaron had been outspoken in the months leading up to his passing, claiming that he was being targeted and that his life was in danger. While Aaron's connection to Diddy may not be as direct as others, some have suggested that he, too, could have been caught up in this larger, darker narrative.
It has taken countless hours, really decades, of work by the men and women of our homicide section to get to where we are today.
As all of these threads come together, it's becoming increasingly clear that Diddy's current legal troubles are just one piece of a much larger puzzle. The accusations against him aren't just about individual incidents. They paint a picture of someone who has wielded immense power and influence for decades, often in ways that have left destruction in their wake. From the East Coast-West Coast rivalry to the untimely ends of those who were once close to him, the stories that are now coming to light suggest a pattern of behavior that's as troubling as it is far-reaching.
This case, this is a case that it's going to take some nuance, that's for sure.
And yet, even with all of this swirling around him, Diddy has managed to maintain his innocence, brushing off these allegations as baseless and unfounded. His legal team has worked tirelessly to discredit witnesses, question evidence, and paint a picture of a man who is being unfairly targeted. But as more people come forward and more evidence surfaces, it's becoming harder and harder to believe that all of this is just a coincidence. The question now is, where does this all lead? Will the truth finally come out, or will this story become yet another unsolved mystery in the annals of music history? One thing's for sure, this isn't over. Not by a long shot. As more details emerge and more voices are heard, the full scope of what's at stake will become clearer. And for Sean Diddy Combs, the man who once seemed untouchable, the days ahead are looking darker than ever.
Some people do think that Diddy can help him, but this guy's going to be locked up forever. His case will probably take at least 3 years to litigate. He'll stay at MDC. There's rumors that he wants to go to Essex County Jail in New Jersey because he doesn't like MDC. He's a Marshall's inmate. There's no way they're going to transfer him back and forth, I don't know, several times a week.
So, as the saga of Sean Diddy Combs continues to unfold, the questions surrounding his involvement in some of the most shocking incidents in music history grow more pressing. Do you think Diddy's alleged connections to the untimely ends of Shakur and the notorious B.I.G. will ever be fully uncovered? And what about the mysterious circumstances surrounding the passing of Kim Porter? Could her alleged manuscript hold the key to exposing Diddy's darkest secrets? Share your thoughts and theories in the comments below. Until next time, stay tuned for more revelations in this explosive story. Goodbye for now.